We good? And is she calling?
Yeah, she's calling on that phone in there.
Right. Right, it is 2 p.m., so I would like to call the meeting to order. A regular reminder, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. When speaking during the meeting, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and speak loudly and clearly. Thank you. Item number 1 is approval of the agenda. Before we approve the, I'm sorry?
Let's let Mr. Nelson get an agenda, because Karen wasn't here, so you can have
All
it.
right, okay. Item number 1 is approval of the agenda, and before we approve the agenda, item number 4 is a financial report, and it indicates that Dennis Butler will give that. Shane Albrecht from Baker Group will be giving that today. And I'd like to remove item number 5 from the agenda, conversation or discussion and action on the time capsule. I'd like all 3 authority members to be here when we do that. So we have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve striking Dennis Butler on item 4 and replace it with Shane Albrecht, and striking item 5 completely.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. You want to move the approval of the agenda? then?
Jody? Jody? Jody?
Of course, technology is not working.
All right, I think we need to do an approval, don't we?
That we just did.
Oh, okay, we're good?
Yep.
All right, item number 2, approval of the
Jody?
meeting minutes from June 25th,
Yes,
2024.
I am here.
Okay.
I'll
Thank
move
you.
it.
I'll second it. All in favor,
Thank you.
aye?
Aye.
Aye, passes 2-0. Item number 3 on the agenda is approval of claims. Shane Albrecht, please.
Sorry, so right now, we have 2 claims, one for Baker Group for $34,000, and the other one for the Sioux City Journal for a refund on their FOIA request in the amount of $450.
I'll move it.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, passes 2-0. Thank you. Item number 4 on the agenda is financial report, and I'll call on Shane Albrecht to provide that, please.
Yeah, so, basically, if you look at taxable bonds fund, 4750, no expenditures this month, so it still has a balance of 4,308,728.45. The ARPA funds, standard deduction, still has a balance of 212,253.32. Miscellaneous revenue, the $400,000 from the 28E was deposited into there. And then you have the expenditures of the $35,450, which you just approved. Its ending fund balance is $448,131.73. And you'll see the maintenance fund, it's picked up a little bit of interest. It's $1,205,054.03.
Very good. Any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Albrecht. All right, item number 6 on the agenda is discussion on the LEC open house. And we'll just open that up for open discussion. Shane, do you have anything, you and I have talked on that, do you have anything that you'd like to share?
We've kind of put together a list. I would please like to ask the sheriff to come up to the front, please. So right now, we haven't actually started the date. We started talking about people to invite. Did the standard list of, everybody, of course, from the judge's standpoint, our local elected officials, board of supervisors, city council. It was asked that we should invite the marshals. Of course, that invitation we would ask would, of course, come from your office, okay? But is there anybody that we might not be thinking about? We mentioned Delbert Longley inviting him, okay?
Okay.
And would again ask for that. So what we were thinking about an open house, during the open house, is to have, like, you and the judge come out and stuff. There's a plaque that goes in between the outside door and the inside door. We would actually set that in part of this opening ceremony. And then we would have people, because you weren't here either, Mark, we would have people then, that were set for tour guides, okay? And we would do 4 or 5 different tour guides depending on how
Sure.
many people show up. And we would only go places that are approved by you.
Yep.
So whether that means we can actually take them back into the jail area or not, that's at your discretion, of course, okay?
These would be for invited guests only.
We
Would
would,
this be the public at
This-
large?
this would be the public at large.
Okay.
And just so I can say this if I could, I wanna make sure we all understand the public at large definitely is invited because they're the one paying the bill.
No, absolutely.
Right.
I didn't know if, just for clarification, the public at large may be limited, maybe more limited in where we would allow them back inside the controlled area of the jail just for safety purposes. So that's why I was clarifying. Some people to maybe think of would be inviting, the mayors from each town.
That's on our list.
That's on our list, yes.
Emergency management director,
Yes,
That-
all those
he's
people.
on the list too.
Okay, I was gonna say, I thought we didn't have the emergency.
No,
management guy.
he's on there.
Former sheriffs?
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
Okay, would you write that one down, Mark?
I will.
I'll give it some more thought, but
Absolutely. We're just kind of catching you off guard. You've been on our list to talk about with this.
Yep.
So where we were thinking the open house is after substantial completion and before occupancy.
Yep.
Try to target right there in the middle.
Okay.
Invite the news media. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I can't silence that.
We're all right, keep moving.
Inviting the news media, and again, there may be more of a tour you wanna give them than others,
Sure.
but we'll walk through that with you as we divide it up into groups.
Okay.
Mayors elected, I mean, we're gonna invite the governor, the elected senators, representatives. There's all kinds of different people that, we might wanna divide up those groups into very specific groups as well.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah, what I'd like to do is, you be thinking about it and get some notes made on it if you would, and then we can at some point in the near future, get together on a meeting and sit down and work our way through everything.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you, Sheriff.
thank you.
That's my take on Mr. Nelson. Since this is the first time you're hearing it,
Sure.
what's your thoughts?
No, I think it's great. Were we gonna have any snacks or drinks or anything like that? Have we talked about that at all?
We did talk about that, not opposed to it. What we thought was bad though, is if I give you snacks or drinks, you're walking around the building with a snack or drink,
Sure,
you're setting it down places,
for sure.
so it has the ability for not only spills, but the ability for Kenny to have to come by and clean up that somebody left food over in the courtroom that never really should have food in it.
Sure.
Again, not opposed to it, but that was
Sure.
some of the concerns that we had when we brought that idea up about, having food and how do you plan for the number of people?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the big question is how do you plan for numbers?
That's true. Okay. No, I think it's great. A lot of people have asked about it, so. Yeah.
Maybe be thinking about it, making notes also.
Do you have a list typed up that you could send me of who you're kind of having in mind?
We can do
wrote
that.
down,
Yeah,
yes,
we can
we
do
got some
that.
things to add to it, but
Yeah.
yes, we got
Send that to me so then I can look that over, go from there.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments or anything on that issue? If not, we'll move on to item number 7, information and update on the LEC project, and I'll call on Shane Albrecht for that, please.
Yeah, so, and when you pass it out to me, I'll read this right now for that. Yeah. Or give it back to you.
Here, you wanna, no, there you
But anyway, right
get
now.
one copy back to.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yes, gotta get one to have as well. So right now, going on at the building, we're wrapping up some things. So right now, PR 49 work, which is the replacement of valves, VAD boxes, manpower boxes and different things. We're down to basically Chief Wyndard's office left for some balancing and some other rooms around there. The valves have been installed, and all the stuff is starting to get put back. We still got the sprinkler lines to get back in the ceiling, some ceiling tile to get back in. But we're trending where we're supposed to be on that. Right now, elevator 6, is trending. We're supposed to do a back walk tomorrow
Okay.
on it. I don't know exactly where that's sitting at in the approval with the elevator inspector, Kenny, that you brought up, okay? Where we talked to him. The letters that he asked for have been written, but he still hasn't approved it to my knowledge, okay? So we still gotta get through the Nelson elevator.
Okay.
Okay? And like I said, that back walk's set up for tomorrow.
Good.
We're working on PR 50 right now. So PR 50 is noise levels. So basically, we've got noise level issues in master control that's being dealt with by PR 50. Kenny's covered everything out there to get ready for that work. That work is basically adding a little bit more 8-inch ductwork and another diffuser, so not highly destructive. We're still working through how to fix secondary control right now. So Dale Drent with Baker Group is out to the site right now. We had a 2.5-hour meeting yesterday with Corey and Dale by phone. Dale felt it was important enough that he got here to actually do it in person, so he could lay more eyes on it. So we'll be spending most of tomorrow with Dale. Corey is talking with Mark Schaefer on the results we got on Monday to try to get Introva's buy-in to what we're doing. Right now, what they're asked to fix the sound is basically, it's gonna continue to do that.
We're okay. Is that number okay?
Yeah, it's not super great. So right now, Introva's fix is to add 2-inch sound band installation inside the unit, tie that all together, and actually take it down the first 4 feet of the supply on the return duct, okay, to try to stop the sound. From our initial opinion, that will help the sound, but does not solve the problem. That's what we were able to determine on Monday. It's why Dale has come up here to
Sure.
give his eyes on it. So Corey Mesker, our expert, is talking with Mark Schaefer with Introva about the information we found right now. And then Dale and I will put together a spreadsheet based upon these numbers. Sue will be out to look at this and kind of see where that's all playing out. The other thing before I read the press release, so there's a little bit of backwalking to be done, but basically most of the building has been accepted, minus the cane screens. Cane screens are in activity, which there's 2 activity rooms, one's on the first floor, one's on the second floor. The painter got paint on them and then ran a grinder on something that's powder coated. Anybody that has anything that's powder coated in their life, you don't touch it, and there's no touch up on it, okay? So we have the Sherman-Williams rep on site today. We met with them. They have sandblasted it back down to bare metal, and they have an approved product to put on that. And we made the rep, since he has to warranty it, accept
Sure.
the prep work that's done because he's the one providing the warranty. We had a meeting last week on the front doors. The front doors, for everybody's knowledge, were damaged either in transit or in transit to the site. Travis Martin with Blankenship Meyer, who's one of the owners, will not put those doors on the building. So they're either gonna get sent back to the factory. We're either gonna get new doors or they're gonna get touched up at the factory and sent back. The paint is either a floral polymer or powder coated. Neither one can be touched up in the field. So what that means is sometime after substantial completion, there'll be new doors that will come and we'll have them do it on a Saturday or Sunday. I realize the jail is occupied 24/7, but it's just taking out the damaged doors and putting in new doors. So we'll just have people there making
And that's
sure-
warranted?
What?
Or that's warranted, or that's not on us for those
It has
doors?
nothing to do on our bill. It's actually not warranted either.
Sure.
This is still a punch list item
Sure.
that failed the punch list, and this is the corrective measure.
Sure.
The problem is the new doors last I heard, 14 to 16 weeks.
Sure.
Okay? So we're not taking that delay, we're not adding that delay to the project. It'll just have to be corrected on the weekend.
Nothing physically wrong with the current doors, just cosmetic.
Nothing physically wrong, cosmetic wise, not acceptable,
Yeah.
not what you paid for your car.
Okay.
Okay? The roof, working through some warranty things on the roof, but it's still part of the punch list, no cost to the authority. Things that I need to make, that I said have to be fixed. They're waiting for the mule high rep to get here to get that all
Sure.
buttoned up, okay?
Sure.
We have some weed issues, again, won't stop substantial completion. The roof won't change substantial completion either. We've got some weed issues outside that are going on, and some seeding, and this rain is not helping any of that. But, again, not affecting substantial completion, no cost to the authority, just part of the finishing of this job. We're outside the seeding window for new planting, so no new plantings can happen until September 15th. Just because of temperatures and everything else, if you plant outside that time, it's gonna die. Large possibility. So, we're in that window, and because of the rain and washing out the seed, we're gonna be September. Again, not gonna affect substantial completion, but will. There is one topic that's new for this update. The new topic for this update is seismic bracing. Probably the past 3 months, we've pushed seismic bracing thing. We just got a new submittal on seismic bracing, the 30th, so just Sunday. Got uploaded on Monday by Houseman. So to explain to everybody why seismic bracing is important, even though you don't think we're in an earthquake zone. The soil level out at the site is a low sill soil. That's a class C by code with that soil. You have to have seismic bracing. So all sewers, mechanical systems are installed with seismic bracing. All Thompson's electrical system is installed with seismic bracing. The fire protection system is not installed with seismic bracing. Okay?
It's supposed to be.
It is supposed to be, by code and by specification. The shot drawing was missed. The shot drawing has been in process. We're on past 5 now for shot drawings for Prairie Fire. Their answer is they're not.
And Prairie Fire is?
Prairie Fire is so it's a delegated design. So Prairie Fire is the designer as well as the installer. Prairie Fire is from Belle Plains or someplace in South Dakota.
Yeah, I think that's.
Bell
correct.
something in South Dakota.
And they're a sub of Houseman or GGA?
Sub of Housing.
Del Rapids.
Del Rapids,
Del
yep. Thanks. It was Del something. In South Dakota. So they're working on a process right now to get approved shot runs. Like I said, they've already tried 5 and had them rejected. Okay, just not complete enough. We have a meeting on the 8th at 1:30 with Houseman to discuss the impact of what this is. In conversations with Steve Teal, he thinks this can all be completed in the month of July. Okay, not knowing the full severity of what we have until we have approved shot drawings. Location-wise, there's 292 locations currently that need seismic bracing. Okay?
So, this bracing is required on the fire system. It was in the drawing, so it was missed by Houseman and their sub.
Correct.
Didn't we already have the fire marshal through and pass inspection?
Yes.
So he missed it too.
So it was in the drawing or it wasn't in the
It
drawing?
was in the drawings and in the specifications as a requirement.
In the specifications.
So it was missed by the contractor, not the architect?
That is correct.
Okay.
Well, and by the fire marshal.
Okay. If it's okay with everybody, I'd like to, Ron, do you wanna read this?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so July 2nd, 2024, press release for immediate release. The authority continues to focus continues to be working with Hausman and Goldberg Group on the completion of the project. PR 49 was issued on Wednesday, May 15, 2024. PR 49R was issued on Friday, May 17, 2024. CCD 14 was issued on Saturday, May 18, 2024, and allows for work to start while pricing is negotiated with Hausman Construction. PR 49R removes PR 46 from PR 49. PR 46 added missing ventilation to room 0046, which is the county attorney's IT closet. The missing ventilation will be dealt with after the building opens because of cost and time constraints. PR 49 replaces ASI 10, PR 42, RFI 551, PR 42R, PR 43, PR 45, PR 48, ASI 11, and RFI 581. The authority's position is the additional work on the mechanical systems, including additional coils, replacement of certain control and balancing valves, as well as changing out of fan power boxes and adding of a VAV box, is due to errors on the part of the mechanical engineering services provided by Goldberg Group's engineering consultant in Trovo. Equipment has been installed except for one valve in room 1081, which is the deputy chief's office. Which is the chief's office, and he's not a deputy chief, sorry. I had the words right, this switched around. This system is currently being balanced and commissioned. PR 50 was issued on June 12, 2024. PR 50 will fix the NC levels in master control and secondary housing control, both levels. NC levels are currently at 60 plus in these areas, with the specs calling for 35. CCD 15 was issued on Thursday, June 13th, for work associated with PR 50. The authority has had to remove page 4, which dealt with secondary control, because PR 50, because the work was too intrusive and would have caused months of delays. The authority is still working with its experts and in Trovo to find a less intrusive fix to secondary control. Another pending item is missing seismic bracing on the fire suppression system that was not installed by Hausman Construction. The authority and GGA will continue to wait an acceptable submittal from Hausman subcontractor Prairie Fire, showing the locations of the seismic bracing. Seismic bracing, as set forth in the project specifications, is required by code because of the soil type of the new LEC. The impact of this emission is still being evaluated. The authority issues this press release to our continued commitment to keep the public apprised of changes regarding the substantial completion date. The authority is waiting on solutions to secondary control sound levels and seismic bracing approved shot burns. Once those solutions are provided, the authority will evaluate the effect of these solutions on the substantial completion date. The authority and the county continue to be damaged by the law enforcement center being delayed. The authority and its council continue to assess additional costs and damages on the project caused by the actions, inactions, or concurrent delays by Hausman GGA, NGGA's, and Goldberg's engineering Trovo, and will hold the responsible parties liable for such additional costs and damages.
Thank
So,
you. Questions?
today's July 2nd, and we're still waiting for a full response from Introba on the secondary control, right?
That's
If my memory serves me correct, we first raised that issue to them back in, or very early April.
correct, April 8th.
There, anyway, it's unbelievable to me. And I guess, thank you for this update on the seismic bracing. I don't know how HCI and their sub could have missed it. I don't know how the inspector could have missed it. It just blows my mind. Kind of like with the damper thing, right? Like, how did he miss that on the drawings? The inspector there too, you know? Like, you have these fail safes. Because when was the fire inspector through? February?
What?
When was the fire inspector through? Was that back in February?
It was.
Everything would have already been in, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, but,
The mistake was already made.
no, I know, but he could have, if he would have identified it
Right.
then.
But they may not even be looking at that.
So,
I don't know, I'm not in their world, I'm
Sure.
not in the fire marshal world, but I mean, really, at that point, the damage is done, right?
100%.
So, as far as the fire marshal, it's almost a moot point as far as the damages. My question that I have is with the seismic things missing in the fire suppression system, is any of that gonna cost the LEC Authority more money?
No,
Since they missed it, it's all on them.
it's all on them, it has no
It was
cost on it.
all in the original bid.
So with the Introla thing, I don't mean to jump around here, but whose responsibility is it to get Introla to do their job? GG is PG for the TV. GG. Where are they at?
Where are they at?
Yes.
They're sending letters.
It's time somebody drives to the guy's office and sits in front of him, in front of his desk, whoever he is, and gets a little more attention to them. Because obviously letters don't mean anything to them. It's a little harder to when somebody's sitting across a table from you, or wherever, in the lobby, at his front door at his house, right? Give me an address. I'll drive whoever from GGA. I'll drive him there. We'll get the guy's attention. He's right. If this was our house, nobody would stand for an architect or whoever, a mechanical engineer, to wait 3 months to give us an answer.
Yeah.
I mean,
On-
I've had enough of it. Whoever they are, I've had enough.
And the square footage of the area we're talking is not very large.
It's just somebody needs to hold them however accountable they can, but the letters aren't cutting it. So if you know, I mean, at this point, I think it's worth getting somebody's attention down there.
The only reason I was distracted was Mark Schaefer, which is the guy from Trola that's supposed to be responding to this AHU3 stuff, just sent an email. That's the only reason. Sorry, Sheriff, 100%.
Well, maybe has some mental telepathy then.
So that was the reason.
He could sense my frustration from 400 miles away. I mean, I don't think I'm alone in the frustration. I think I share it with everybody here. I'm just saying, you know, if it requires somebody to drive to their office, wherever it is, or whatever, just let me know. I'll take a day off and it's always easier to ignore you through a letter or a phone call or whatever. It's a little more difficult if I'm standing knocking on your door.
Yeah. Just so everybody is aware, they did provide a solution. Okay? And that solution, very honestly, in my opinion, so we had no idea where the construction of the building was at, because we literally would have had to tear the secondary control apart and start back over.
But what does that say about them?
I'm not defending anybody, I'm just saying they did provide a solution. It just was a solution that had no idea where we were in construction of the building. That solution's off the table, just so we're clear, because we explained to them the damage that would cause them, the months that would delay.
Yeah. What they offered up would have been appropriate 2 years ago.
Would have been
Where are they
appropriate.
out of?
Many places, this person's out, they started out in Kansas City, I think they're out of St. Louis now, because the people in Kansas City, no longer work there. So I think this person's out of St. Louis.
So we're what, on our 5th person with them?
Yes.
It's not that far.
I
I
understand.
should be there just shortly after lunch if we leave early enough in the morning.
Okay,
All right, Mitch.
I'll go with you, Sheriff, I have no issues with this.
I don't know anything about what we're talking about mechanically, but whoever needs to have the conversation, I'll be happy to drive them there, that's all I'm saying.
That's what's frustrating to me is when you look at the square footage and it's not very complex what we've asked them to do. It's just not, yeah, and I'm not obviously frustrated with you, I'm just
I
saying.
think everybody shares the frustration.
We all do.
It's just the letters aren't getting it done. Let's step it up something, whatever that is.
I do wanna share with everybody, it doesn't necessarily matter, but when we had the call with Dale Monday, yesterday, okay? He felt it was important enough that he dropped everything in his schedule, he's here already, okay?
That's your guy, right?
That's my guy.
Right.
That's putting, so right now between Dale and Corey, they're the ones that are putting together the solution because we've given up on Introvo. So Dale came because we're gonna get something figured out to get this moving. Because he senses the urgency and he's sensing the
But
frustration.
we're gonna go after Introvo for damages.
Absolutely.
Not Dale.
Correct.
So that's.
Yeah, we met
I
with,
appreciate the effort, I appreciate dropping everything and coming here, but Introvo should be doing the same thing. I mean, it's, again, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, it's real
Yeah.
easy to ignore letters and phone calls. It's a little more difficult, trust me, it'll be more difficult to ignore me if I'm standing face to face with the guy.
You don't disagree.
and just so you know, as Shane said, Dale arrived in town shortly after noon, and we spent time with him and met with him, and he's at the site working right now while we're doing this meeting.
Great. Where's Introvo?
Yep. Alright.
Any other comments? Thank you, Shane. Item number 8 on the agenda is public concerns. Seeing none or hearing none, we'll move on to item number 9, authority board member concerns.
I have nothing other than Introbo and HCI, which has been a concern of mine since I got on this thing in September, so.
I agree. Very good. Okay, item number 10 is we'll go into closed session, and that will occur at 2:45, so we'll have to stand down until that time.
Are you just gonna stay on the phone, Jody?
Mr.
Yep,
Chairman,
I'll just stay on the phone.
Yeah.
Is the 2:45, that's just for the LEC Authority group? Is there a closed session with the board after that?
Yes,
3
there
o'clock.
is. Yes, there is.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Can you be at that? Can you-
Yeah, I'll be
yeah,
back.
okay.